One thing that you may have come up against, and if you haven't come up against it already, you probably will at some point in the future, are people trying to denigrate what you do and saying that you don't have a real job. And they're going to say things like, you don't have a real job, or all you do is sit and stare at your computer all day. And you'll get some wag who'll say, how many tunes can that one-man band of yours play? Ha ha ha. And others will simply dismiss you as a jack of all trades and master of none. And at some point, when you're just starting up, or when you have cash flow difficulties, or when times get tough, you're gonna have a conversation with somebody, be it your spouse or your parents if you're young, or the bank manager or creditors, and they're going to start a sentence with the phrase, if you had a job. And you're putting your heart and soul into your business and it's not being appreciated, and it can be very, very discouraging. Well, first of all, take comfort from the fact that you're not the first startup, micro business or entrepreneur to hear this. People are conditioned from a very early age that you must have a job for an employer. That's the sort of way that Western society works. Everybody has a job for an employer. And this comes with the so-called security of regular hours, regular pay, and a future. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you've figured out already that this is an illusion. And of course, another reason why people are very hostile to people who start up their own businesses and unsympathetic when times get hard is they actually want your business to fail. And I know that sounds rather harsh, but it's true. Some people, even people your nearest and dearest, will want your business to fail. And that's because they're scared to take the plunge themselves. They don't want to take, they do want to take the plunge, but they're afraid to. So they want you to try it, and then they want you to fail. And because if your venture fails, well, that makes them feel relieved. Oh gosh, thank goodness I didn't do that. There but for fortune go I. So that's why they would want your business to fail, because it makes them feel good. And of course, if your venture succeeds, then they feel bad because they didn't have the courage to start a business themselves. So what do you say when people accuse you of not having a real job? Well, I say, yes, you're right, I don't have a job. I have a business. Which often brings the riposte, yeah, but it's not a real business, is it? It's just you working out of your spare bedroom. Well, there's an old saying, mighty oaks from little acorns grow. Let me give you a case in point. I'm sure you've heard of Dell Computers. Well, Dell Computers was started by Michael Dell in his dorm room at the University of Texas, and he started by assembling components to make computers, and he put them together in his spare time in his dorm room at the University of Texas. And if you're watching this outside the US, you may not be aware, but it's standard practice at American universities that students share rooms. So he only had half a room to work in. He didn't even have a spare room to work out of. But his business now has over 108,000 employees and a turnover of $56.94 billion as of 2013, which is the last year for which figures are available at the time that I'm making this video. But what if you're not looking to start a multinational conglomerate? Well, the thing is, of course, most small businesses stay small because that's how their owners like them. And many people have shunned the mainstream because it suits their lifestyle. Others have a talent that they've managed to turn into cash. Here's a case in point, J.K. Rowling, Joanne Rowling. Now, she was a single mother on benefits when she wrote the first Harry Potter novel, and she's gone on record as saying that she was as poor as it was possible to be without actually being homeless. And she used to write in cafes, and she used to write in coffee shops and all sorts of other places, anywhere where she could find the time to scribble something down when she wasn't looking after her daughter. And she's gone on to sell more than 450 million books worldwide. And in addition to that, she's made money from the movie franchise, and then there's all the merchandising and everything else, and now she's a very, very wealthy woman. But, of course, some people will say, that's not a real job. Well, so what? As long as you can feed and clothe your family and keep a roof over your head and live the sort of lifestyle that you want, does it matter? Personally, I would say no. Some people march to the beat of a different drummer. And it would be a dull old world if we were all the same. By watching these videos, I hope you've become inspired to create your own healthy business and to live your own healthy life. And I wish you every success.